some exercises to see whether we can how to swap the microphone. Okay, so thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here with you and give you an insight into innovative technologies and multimedia technologies and how they are going to change our lives and also our economies in the future, that is. So what is happening at the moment through the process of digitalization, and I want to sensitize you for that, so make you aware of it and also inspire you and tell you about the potential of what is new. So because this is growing, so when you understand what is happening, so when you understand what a third platform is and why the Uber services and Airbnb services are that successful and how I can use that for my own business, you will learn about that and can get inspired. So when you look at the technological evolution and the drivers of that, that is, we started with a personal computer. So this was the digital machine in the world 1.0. So when you understood good morning, so and you could also use that. So it was easy to use, but others who had no idea about technology, they had to go through the manuals and just find out how to work with it. And then there was Steve Jobs, and he used a new graphic surface that he saw at a different company, and then he had a vision that he's going to give a computer to everybody, and that this will make life easier for everyone. And the Xerox people and IBM, they just thought this is just a nonsense of vision, because why should everybody have a computer at home? This wouldn't make any sense. That's what they thought. And so the entire Coca-Cola recipe was given to them together with the developers, and he was happy, of course. And then the Macintosh got started, and this led to us having these computers and laptops and what have you today. So this new graphic surface is something that this is a universal tool that worked everywhere. So this was the Dimension 2.0, and then we have the internet and also browsers that were developed that is an access to the internet. And so this was also established at the same time. And then we had these small black devices, and 7 years between 2000 and 2007. So Steve Jobs was saying that this is the mobile internet, and then and I also kept saying that, and everybody was telling me that this is just completely stupid and nonsense, and because nobody would have the UMTS licenses then to be in the hands of everyone. But now we've got it. But the website is a different medium, so this is why it didn't work at the beginning. So when they started with that, and then Steve Jobs put some pressure on his developers, and then they understood that the websites won't work on these devices, and we need media adequate languages. And this was the birth of the apps, and those who could think in terms of apps. So these were just services and not just websites, and especially so with the services in the travel management, Mike's.de, for example, so finding a taxi as soon as possible, and also other services that were offered through that, and we're going to talk about that later on. So then this led us into the Dimension 3.0, and this is the so-called smartphone. So and apparently everybody has that except with one person. So everybody is having that on their bodies all the time, more or less, and you have your private and also business information here. So I mean, I also have some personal information stored here. So you have some kind of a combination of what is personal, what is business like. And then so we're going to have the Dimension 4.0, so the Internet of Things, and also the Internet of Services, which is actually fascinating in terms of monetary affairs and also economic affairs. And so this is combining everything that existed before, and the computer is no longer going to be the computer as we know it. So it is going to be smaller and more efficient, more effective, and even smaller, and it will be in everything. So in my collar, for example, in my T-shirt, so the capacity that I have in my T-shirt, that would be would be as big as 36 of these personal computers that we had before in its capacity. In fact, this is the future. So the things are developing faster and faster. So we've already seen that these driving cars, and since the 11th of February, we've had a new revolution. That is the National Transport Authority of the United States. They decided to say that these little computers are no longer objects, but rather subjects, so that they are responsible for what they're doing. So this is a completely different view of what of how to see things. And so this is these computers are seen as drivers. So this is a milestone because this is a shift in paradigm. So now we just saw that there are changes in behavior, and then these things have been turned into drivers. So then we're also getting processes that are getting more and more complex. So this is my little buzzword chart, and you see that this ubiquitous internet, which is present everywhere, so leads to having new technologies everywhere, not only these humanoid computers. We're talking about big data. That is a lot of data that we are dealing with. We're talking about self-driving cars, and we're talking about a data speed factory. That is the manufacturing that was relocated to Asia is now coming back to Germany because we can work here faster and more efficiently with the new technology. And we're also going to create new marketplaces. And these are these little products, and so they market themselves, and they also market themselves with regard to the users, that is my shoes with regard to myself, and so that my shoes tell me that they want to be replaced and that I need new ones. So this is also the case with the new Amazon devices, Amazon Echo, for example, Amazon Dash, and all these new technologies that Amazon developed, and I'm going to elaborate on that later. And so Amazon, Google, and Apple see these as the future target groups because these are the devices that can download the services that are of benefit to the user. So, for example, this computer, this robot, can get in touch with a utility company or with the hotel that I want to reserve a room for, and they can organize them for me. So everything that I want can be done by robots. And then this is also a buzzword, another buzzword, so the share economy. So that is, we have a third platform, cloud or social media or apps. Use Airbnb, for example. And so these are only virtual assets, not physical assets, and the services that make use of the assets that are there. So these are quite a number of changes, in fact. And when we look at the Internet of Things, all these smart products, then we see, on the one hand, that every object, everything that you can imagine will have a microsensor inherently in it. So usually now, so it is added from the outside, but I mean it is an intrinsic part of this product, and then there was some kind of logic in its action and also in a proactive one. So, and these objects, these things, are connected with the internet, so they work also without the internet. I mean, just for safety reasons. So, if I don't want my car to have some automated driving, I can also drive it myself. So, but I mean, you can also just put some limits on it so that you want to only drive 30 kilometers per hour, not 200 kilometers per hour. So when you switch off the connection, so then we used to have these microsensors, and then there's some kind of logic that behind that. So saying that we also see the scandal with Volkswagen. So then that they can just understand. So whether they are in a test laboratory or whether they are in the car. But this is the difference between smart and intelligence. So the dimension 3.0. So this is smart, and the dimension 4.0 will be intelligent, because intelligence means that it also checks whether my action will have bad repercussions or not. So when we are entering the dimension 4.0, so we will see that everything will work more efficiently and effectively in the future, and also safer.
Bring me a dream, bum 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 bum. Taking the cutest that I've ever seen. Bum 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 bum. You don't have nobody to call my own. Bum bum bum. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum. Mr. Sandman, someone to hold. We'll be so busy before it's too old. So please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream.
Ja, also das sollten Sie heute Abend noch.
So you shouldn't try that tonight when you come when you drive home. So it's not working like that yet. So I can tell you that right now. So, but this is nothing that too far in the future, because you can see that already when you go to the United States and look at the Amazon robotics that already exists today. So let me show you that in another video clip, and then listen to the voice here.
Holiday workers, the Kiva robots. At this fulfillment center in Tracy, California, more than 3,000 of them cruise the warehouse floor, helping employees fill millions of orders.
The little orange robot goes out and picks the right pot of inventory and brings it back just at the right time for the person to pick the item out to go in that customer's shipment.
Before the Kiva robots, the workers used to walk the warehouse aisles picking up the items. But now they stay on these platforms, and the robots bring the shelves and the items directly to them. The 320-pound robots can lift up to 750 pounds. They have motion sensors to detect objects in their way and can travel between 3 and 4 miles per hour. Amazon says the robot's small footprint allows it to squeeze in 50% more inventory into this warehouse, which is the size of 59 football fields. They've also improved efficiency by 20%, so it only takes 15 minutes to fill some orders instead of 90. On Cyber Monday last year, Amazon customers ordered 426 items every second. Amazon expects that number to be bigger this Cyber Monday. The process at an Amazon fulfillment center.
Let me stop this right here. So, but what you've already seen is 50% better use of the capacity, and also an increase in efficiency. So, from 19 minutes for the same process down to 15 minutes. So, and this is just the slowest mode. And so these robots, they already drive in the same automated way that we saw with the Traffic 4.0. So, and then all the magazines that we have in Germany, so the hyper ones and also the technical ones, they write about that. And so I just put together so what we hear about that is true, for example, in waste management, toilet papers, and the urban management, everything is turning to be 4.0. And when you're at a university, so then people ask you, so you're talking about 4.0 all the time, so what does it mean? So I mean, we need to differentiate it between 2.0, 3.0, and 3.0, and so that's what I try to do. So, and I try to explain that to my students. And 4.0 means that it is not only a user-centered, but it is rather the product that is at the center. So the human person is at the center, but it is not really the player, the actor. So then this is a predictive technology. So with sensors that can also analyze the situation. So for example, with a car, so that they see that something is coming, so that they brake and drive more slowly. And then they want to make sure that it's not going to have any negative repercussion on the insurance company. So for example, when everybody says that once we have self-driving cars, we don't need any insurances because they won't have any other accidents. So that it won't work like that. And so we need to have also a look at the combination of smart and robotics. So when I tick off all the elements here, all the factors on this list, then you can call that the 4.0, so that it takes the burden of the person, so of the user. So, but you need to make sure that you don't take away the right to decision. So that so you don't put a person into a car and say that there is a steering wheel, but you're not allowed to touch it. It won't work like that. So of course you need to give the person the possibility to decide whether they want to drive or not. I mean, like today, so we can't take that decision whether we want to drive or whether we want the car to drive. So, but in the future, so when you just get into your car and you see that there's too much traffic and you don't want to drive, then when you see some problems, I mean, like when you look at films like Jacques Tati with traffic, and so what can happen there. So then you can leave that to the robot. So then the traffic flow will be more efficient. So I mean, so what the computers business or the technology needs to do is to empower people and to take them to some burden away from that. So, but still make the person decide what they want to do. So when we translate it to business, we used to have a business word 1.0. So we had some kind of product, and then we did our marketing to reach out to potential customers. And and all these errors, maybe they hit somebody. So I had a consumer. So with 4.0, so we have the person at the center, and all around this person. So we have sensor systems and very simple sensors. I mean, with collecting all kinds of data, these small black devices that all of us have with us. And then we have the possibility to have the variables added to that, so with a lot more options. And then so we're turning towards the data-driven business in the future in 4.0. So and then how I process the data and how I evaluate the data to understand what the data is telling me. So and then what I can do with it. So and once I can analyze that and evaluate that and understand whether I can do that, then I can produce some robots offers and then give that back to the person. So this is business 4.0. So the person is at the center, the user is at the center, then you have the sensor systems and then all the data, and then to analyze quickly what the data tells me so that I can offer efficiently and effectively what this person needs. And this is also a digital transformation. That means that I also have to rethink all the processes, which means that we also have a mental transformation. So when we talk about the way that we think in a 1.0 way, then which was an analog world, and then the way that we're going to think in 4.0, so we're going to have a multimedia way of thinking. So it is not only that we're going to think in digital terms only, but we will have a combination of that. So if we have a combination, this will be the future. But if you only have a product that is only working in a digital manner, then it won't be successful because this won't work either. So we need some kind of combination of all the different media. So then I have to think in terms of what the person needs, what the user needs, and maybe go even beyond what the person themselves. They know whether they want. They know what they want or whether they don't know what they want. So this is the user experience is also very important. And when I take Google as an example, so Google has situation-based relevance in their offers, and if they no longer have this relevance, then they will disappear. So we saw that with Yahoo and other search engines that this happened to them. So and they have turned into dinosaurs. And so when Google then uses this user experience and has a situation-based relevance, then it can survive. So when in the United States, for example, then you see the development already. So, like, what problems do the users have, even if they are not even aware of having these problems? And but you already start in advance to develop solutions, and so you are developing something for a need that the person is not really aware of at the moment, and so you're turning into a hero. So when you can offer something, then all of a sudden, when the problem occurs, so that we heard yesterday, for example, how somebody like RWE, one of the electricity companies here in Germany, so because they didn't understand the concept of power 4.0, and they only saw the electricity and power as an energy source, and then charge 2.6 cents per kilowatt hour, and it's going to even decrease this price. And so with the energy and power that we will have people generating their own power, and then we will have a decentralized grid that you need to organize. But if I understand that power and electricity is also a source of information, and I can use the metadata from the use of powers, and then I will have 4.3 euros per kilowatt hour, so which is actually a lot more than I used before. So I need to understand what metadata means in the field of power, and how can I use them, and then can I then actually get more money per kilowatt hour than I did before. So when I see electricity not only as a source for energy, but as a source for information. So let me explain what I mean with these metadata. So and how to use them and how to sell them.
Ihre Adresse und Ihren Geschmack.
So the video distributor knows what they like and so what they want. So the commercials in between, they fit then your needs and what you've ordered before. So Sandra, for example, so what is she worth for the data dealers? So we have a study that analyzed the value, so that her discount card is worth 80 cents, and her wish to lose weight even €8. And so the more information you get and the more you can sell this person, then the higher the value is of this information. So when, for example, you're changing jobs or wanting to become pregnant or wanting to lose weight, I mean, these are all things that people can use. I mean, all these data, so if you're wanting to feel healthy and wanting to lose weight, and for example, in January, so this is even worth €40 because this is more relevant at the beginning of the year. And so this is a dynamic development such as the price of energy. So because it also depends on the demand. And so this is the way that it is hedged. So the value of this information is also expressed by what Google is paying Apple for having been installed as the search engine in the Apple devices. So you can use Bing, Yahoo, or Google in here. So, but Google pays $1 billion to Apple, so for having been pre-installed as the only search engine, and then they also pay 12 billion euros for Apple, so to get the geodata. So, but it doesn't really matter how much they pay for that because they generate 1.3 billion throughout that. So, in fact, this is a good investment. I mean, so you get a lot of return on your investment. So that is with these mobile devices, people don't want to spend too much time searching, but they want to find things. They don't want to search for them. So I mean, look, we use a lot of internet, and but also we use the smartphones, and Apple is very big in that field. And if you want to stay relevant in this business field and also offer services that have a great net worth, in fact, you need to cooperate with your competitors in a way. Let me then get back to the changes or transformation from the product to the ecosystem. So I would like to explain what I mean by the principle of last call. So we are not really aware of that, but it is very dangerous if we ignore it. So we have the long tail system with Amazon, and they offered products that no retailer could do. So they have all their products on their website, and so this was beneficial for them. So when you wanted to have a product, you can just find all of them on the website, because the last call principle, as it is called these days, is the objective for the future. So when we look at the development here, so Amazon started with a website and then the app, and then 2.0 was Amazon Echo, 3.0 is Amazon Dash, and 4.0 is going to be the Dash replenishment services, as they are called. And this is something that Amazon is already offering today. So let's start with Amazon Echo.
I don't know if any of you know Amazon Echo. I'm going to show you a brief film now because it's fascinating to look at what they dub the big game changer.
I didn't know what it was. What is it?
You'll see.
Is it for me?
It's for everyone. It's called Amazon Echo.
How's it going?
I'm just finishing up right now.
Is it on?
Oh, it's always on.
Can it hear me right now?
Nope. It only hears you when you use the wake word we chose. Alexa.
Well, what does it do?
Alexa, what do you do?
I can play music, answer questions, get the news and weather, create to-do lists, and much more.
Awesome. Alexa, play rock music.
Rock music.
Alexa, stop.
Wait, I want to try. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 3:27.
You actually don't have to yell at it. Okay, it uses far-field technology.
Also man merkt, es löst.
So you see, it solves all kinds of problems, but not all your problems. But it's so fascinating because it has all of this in this black box, in this black tin. But what it does is really intriguing because you say, oh, I'd like to go on a journey, I'd like to go on a trip. And it searches in line with your interests, and it goes ping, and it will make you a great travel offer. And if you look in the US, new services are emerging every single day in combination with Amazon Echo and also Amazon Tap. Those are new, smaller and somewhat cheaper devices. So you can talk into this box and say, Alexa, drive the car up, rather than Harry, of course. And that will happen, and say, well, put this or that on my shopping list. Or you can say, oh, I need a loan. Barclays Bank in the US in conjunction with Amazon, you say, I need a loan. And they will go and dig out the loan for you, and it'll go bing. You can imagine the kind of risk management they have running in the background so that you can get offered a loan in just a few seconds here on your phone. So it's incredibly convenient, and it's a huge game changer. They're really forging far ahead of the website. If you say you need toilet paper, for example, they'll automatically add that to your shopping list in combination with various Amazon services that we don't have in Germany yet. There's also the Amazon Home Services. As in the US, you can just say to that box, I need somebody to set up my Wi-Fi for me, or I need a tradesman or a phone guy.
You like getting things done? I like getting things done. I buy everything on Amazon because it's quick and convenient. And now, Amazon's introducing a new way to shop for services with confidence. I can easily purchase hundreds of services. Things like TV installation, landscaping, and music lessons. Handpicked pros go through thorough background checks. Reviews are from verified customers, not robots. And the best part? Amazon's happiness guarantee. That way, if something does go wrong, I know Amazon will take care of me, just like they always have. So in just a few clicks, I can save the day. Do a little something for myself. And call in an expert when it's time. Hun, it's time. So say goodbye to that honey-do list and go conquer the world. Amazon Home Services. Services made simple.
Also der letzte Satz ist auch.
So that last sentence is very interesting. There's various different philosophies. Shopping made simple, services made simple, and so on. You can see the underlying philosophy from Amazon. Everything made simple, as convenient as possible, and as relevant as possible. That's the way you should offer things to customers. You need a tradesman, and you just click on the happiness guarantee. If you're not satisfied, you don't have to pay. Try that with the German telecom company. Things might look a bit different. Now, Amazon Dash, I don't know if you know it. Let's have a look at this film.
Don't let running out ruin your rhythm. Introducing the Amazon Dash button for Prime members, a simple way to reorder the important things you always run low on so you'll never run out. Set it up to order what you want, then press it when you're running low. Get an order alert on your phone so it's easy to cancel if you change your mind. And with Prime shipping, you'll get new products delivered to your door before you run out and never miss a beat. Prime members, request your free Amazon Dash button today.
Also jetzt können Sie 500 von.
So you can order 500 of these buttons and stick them everywhere around your house the more you order, the happier Amazon will be. You have to watch out if you've got small kids, of course. It could get interesting. You might end up having a little more than you bargained for on your doorstep. Anyway, joking aside, that's still 3.0, but now we get to 4.0, dash replenishment services. There's one, in fact, two more examples I want to show you. One that's being developed, one that's on the market.
It does all sorts of good things for the body. And getting cleaner, great-tasting water just got easier. A Wi-Fi-equipped smart pitcher automatically orders replacement filters from Amazon when you need. It's super simple. First, set up your pitcher to connect to your home Wi-Fi network. Since you're connected online, your pitcher is ready to activate. You'll need to log into Amazon to confirm your shipping and billing information. But don't worry, you only have to do this once. Once your pitcher is activated, just fill as you would, and your pitcher tracks your usage. Yes, it's that smart. You can enjoy cleaner, great-tasting filtered water without wondering when the filter needs to be replaced. When a new filter is due, a notification is automatically sent to Amazon for you. You receive an email confirmation, and a new single filter arrives just when you need it. Just swap in your new filter, reset the sensor, and you're back to enjoying great-tasting water.
So, und das sind diese sogenannten.
So these are the so-called dash replenishment services. What happens is the products reorder themselves when they realize your stores are running low. And you come here to the lost call product because you know when your products are getting used up. And they can be made available before they run out. And of course, because your order was ordered from Amazon, you've got the highest degree of convenience. I can also assure you that you'll get the lowest price. So there's also the question of the competition situation as well. You can offer something lower, of course, but it does promote competition within this network as well. And of course, competitors have to fit into the system as well so as not to be swept away, and competitors are actually orchestrated through the system. Take a look at this.
Ganz nett an.
Now, that may look very straightforward, but it's a huge market changer in the USA because if you work with Amazon to get your nappies, then of course nobody else can get a foothold in the market. And of course, you can get the nappy supply adjusted to your baby's needs, and you'll always get them exactly when you need them. This works very well with media such as dog food and toilet paper and nappies, things that are heavy and bulky and people don't feel like buying. Well, that's actually working very well in the US. Why do we actually do this? Because usability is the buzzword. Usability relates to how rapidly somebody can attain the goal they're aiming for. How rapidly can they get to that goal? and how happy they were with the result. And if you look at Amazon try to compete via the website, they can say, well, actually, we have a different system. We know when somebody needs the product, we can offer to them at the best price in a situationally relevant way, just when they need it. You end up with an ecosystem, and it's hard to get out of that system, because otherwise clients have to pay more or have to go more circuitous route. It doesn't mean you can't buy nappies anywhere else, but you don't have to do it any longer if you don't feel like it. You don't have to go out and drag them home. So usability is the key driver. It's why these devices took the place of these devices, and why he's taking away from the place of these devices, because the route to the goal that you're seeking to attain is actually a much shorter route. And if you've understood that, you've made a great deal more headway. Making things simpler applies to other things as well. When Amazon Travel comes along, you'll see that they pursue exactly the same principle. And then you'll come to Travel 4.0, robotic travel management. And that actually generally happens a lot more upstream of all this. For example, when you put something into your diary, you say, I'm going on a trip, or I have a mobility need. And Amazon is also working on this calendar. It's not just the Amazon and the Google calendars that are available. So anyway, Amazon's developing a calendar, and that will be a big game changer for them in the future as well, because once the calendar knows that you have a mobility need, you have to go from A to B, then Google can say, well, hang on a minute, I could offer you the Google car. Even before you think of using Uber or a taxi, there will be the Google car. There'll be a notification on your watch saying, well, your Google car is outside the door waiting for you. You'll come out, get into the Google car. You'll get it at the best possible price, and Google will know what kind of vehicle you prefer as well, because there's various different options there, different kinds of Google cars. And of course, you'll also be able to orchestrate the following. For example, you can make sure that things pop up on your watch. You can automate how that works. You can see that if you look at the Amazon holodeck, just by way of example. It's patented already. What happens is that Echo is integrated into rooms. Imagine you're in a hotel room. The hotel room will know whether it's full or not, or occupied or not occupied, or how long it's occupied for, what other options are available within the hotel room. The hotel room itself markets itself in a context-sensitive way, markets itself to the user. And in the background, you'll see which users need to have a place to stay. In Berlin, the room, in a sense, finds you. It's a bit like a hotel Tinder, the same sort of principle, as a matter of fact, as Tinder. So that brings us to 4.0. That's a particular kind of mindset. The objects themselves are able to carry out services for people in their interest. Things you used to have to take care of yourself are now made available to you much more conveniently. So I've got some colleagues, I don't know if any of you saw this. It was on Sunday in the newspaper Welt am Sonntag. It was about robots who are now popping up in hotels all over the world. In the backdrop, so I brought some colleagues along. Welcome. Thank you for your visit to the Henna Hotel. Further instructions will come from my colleague who's sitting next to me, but they'll be in English.
Please press 1. Die Gäste brauchen keinen Zimmerschlüssel.
Guests don't need a hotel key. They just have to have their face scanned. A recognition software system on the hotel door will open the door for them. So Henna, apart from that, is a totally normal hotel. Now, of course, these robots can't entirely replace human beings, but they're unbeatably polite. And that's why I developed them for this hotel. And the next helper is there, waiting to carry your luggage up to your room. He doesn't even expect a tip. 72 rooms are available there, and it costs around 75 euros for an overnight stay, plus breakfast is included. The thing I really wanted was to have the most efficient hotel in the whole wide world. In Tokyo or New York or London, hotels are often too expensive. I wanted to offer people an affordable and entertaining alternative. Cutting staff costs by a third is very positive, and of course, robots never need to go on holiday or take sick leave. And so soon the high cost of getting the robots will actually be paid off. But of course, although robots don't go on holiday or take sick leave, they sometimes need to be repaired and so on and have maintenance, so they're not 100% available. But you can see these kind of front-runner projects. Some are used in the hotel context because people think they're very cute. They can also offer more service, more convenience, be more precise than many current hotel staff. That's partly because of capacity and other organizational matters. And so if you have the robots put into a sufficiently structured system, they can really make a significant contribution. So by way of conclusion, here is the overview of what's happening in data-driven business. You have to imagine that there will be sensors everywhere, in your hotel room, in the mattress, in the towels, wherever. There'll be sensors left, right, and center. A lot of this is already in the pipeline. It's already developed, at least to prototype level, or is already up on Kickstarter. The sensors produce an enormous amount of data. You then have to be able to process the data to see what kind of information is there, what is relevant to the particular situation. But that's just know-how. You then have to act and offer what are known as smart services. In our project with Adidas, the sensors in the shoes, if you run 10 kilometers, provide you 15,000 data points. Now, you can take those data points and make useful uses of them. Often I just use it for myself to see the route I ran, how many calories I used, how fast I ran, but I can sell this to, for example, farmers because I collected data on the microclimatic conditions. And if you run for 3 kilometers, or even 10 kilometers, as a matter of fact, 10 kilometers, it would be €250 to €3 that you could get if you know how to transfer your data to somebody, because farmers, for example, find this very useful when it comes to deploying their farming equipment. It sounds very peculiar, but it's a huge business niche. It needs an entirely different way of thinking about this. 4.0, the data which the shoes emit, the data which my hotel room emit, what you can do on the basis of that data to present it as a service that is situationally relevant. There's the convenience and usability, which is very important for the user experience. It's not even the price that is the crux of the matter, because once you're in the Amazon ecosystem with the corresponding principles, you can hedge the price dynamically. You won't even feel like looking elsewhere to see if it's cheaper, because if you do that, then the price will be adjusted to make sure you get the cheapest price, but generally you will receive a fair price, which will be better than what is offered elsewhere. But the real impact is convenience and usability. They'll always be better on convenience and usability. And for example, if another supplier, Postmates, for example, offers a better food delivery system than, say, Uber or Amazon, then the others will catch up soon and they'll gobble up the small newcomer because the others are more relevant. The golden rule in the Internet of Things and Services is that human beings have to be at the heart of the system with everything else clustered around it. So you have to think in terms of users. You have to think of the expectations and the wishes of users and actually offer them more than they could ever expect. You have to think in terms of smart services, and you must also think in terms of situational relevance. How can you utilize this? Or as Steve Jobs once said, it's all about people and changing their minds. And of course, the crux of the matter is what kind of services can this little device offer me as a service provider? And then I'll be well positioned to face the future. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you. A big round of applause for Professor Henseler. Thank you.